If you're a first-time buyer in Silicon Valley, you've probably asked yourself one question. Do I start with a condo, townhome, or should I hold out for a house? It's the number one question I get, and the honest answer is not what most agents are going to tell you. Because most agents want to sell you the biggest house you qualify for. I've lived in 5 different South Bay neighborhoods. I've personally bought and sold across all 3 property types. So I'm going to give you a real breakdown, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which one fits you. And one of these answers is probably going to surprise you. Before we talk about who should buy what, you need to know what you're actually choosing between. Here's what each one costs in Silicon Valley right now. A condo downtown San Jose or Willow Glen is somewhere between $500,000 and $800,000. A townhome in Blossom Valley, Almaden, or West San Jose is roughly $700,000 to $1.2 million. A single-family home? Well, you're looking at $1.2 million and up across most of Santa Clara County. So the gap between a townhome and a single-family home in Silicon Valley is often $400,000 to $600,000. That's not a small decision. That's a decade of your life. So let's start with condos. Here's the honest case for them. They're the lowest entry point to homeownership. If you're tired of renting and you want to start building equity, a condo gets you in the door. You get walkability, you get that urban lifestyle if that's what you want. And the HOA handles all the exterior. Your weekends are yours. You don't have to cut grass and worry about what's happening on the outside of your house. Now here's the part that most agents will not tell you. HOA fees in Silicon Valley run $400 to $800 a month. That's real money. Heck, that's a car payment for most people. Condos have historically appreciated slower than single-family homes in this market, and the data backs it up. Right now, we're seeing that condo prices are about equal to what they were in 2018. We had a peak kind of in those early COVID years up from 2020 to 2022. But as interest rates have gone up, the passing of legislation that required all HOAs to fix the balcony problems that they were seeing, a lot of HOAs had to spend a lot of money on balconies and insurance issues. So that has really devalued the condo market right now. But it could also be an opportunity because you're seeing prices at lows that they were in 2018. A couple other things to note with condos is they are harder to resell to families. There's no yard, there's shared walls, and that shrinks your buyer pool when you do go to sell. Special assessments will surprise you. Ask me how I know. When I actually purchased my townhome, they had just done a special assessment of $20,000 to replace all the roofs in the complex. Now, I was lucky because of when I came in, I knew about that special assessment and I was able to negotiate that with the price of my home so that the seller had to pay for it. But if I did not know, if that was something that I missed in the HOA docs, then I would have been stuck paying a $20,000 HOA assessment. So be very, very careful whenever buying into an HOA that you're reading all the documents, you're going through the minutes, you're seeing what assessments are coming up, and you're going through all the budget items and making sure that they are well funded. Because if they're under 30% funded, heck, if they're under 60% funded, you should really be looking at what's coming up and if they have any big replacement costs coming up. Those are all things that you need to keep in mind. So here's who condos really make sense for right now. Single buyers, couples without kids, people who want into the market right now and plan to move up in 3 to 7 years. Do not treat a condo like it's your forever home. Treat it as your first stop, because most of the time it is. Now we get to the sweet spot, townhomes. This is the answer for most first-time buyers in Silicon Valley, and here's why. In a lot of these neighborhoods, the mortgage on a townhome is actually cheaper than the rent on the same square footage. Let that sink in. You can own for less than you're paying for rent right now. If you go to an end unit, you actually solve the shared wall problem. No bedroom on the other side of your bedroom. The HOA, they cover the roof, the siding, the gutters, The expensive surprises are not your problem. In townhomes, they appreciate so much better than condos, and they're way more accessible than any single family home. I've watched people buy townhomes in Blossom Valley for $700,000 and sell them 5 years later for $1 million. I've also watched people rent in that same neighborhood for those same 5 years and have absolutely nothing to show for it. Same 5 years, two completely different outcomes. Quick note before we get into the neighborhoods. If you're already running the numbers in your head and you want to know what you'd actually qualify for, I do free buyer consultations. No pressure, no pitch, link in the description. Now let's get back to it. Blossom Valley is the best value for families. The schools, they hold up. The 95117 zip code is right next to all the tech campuses and still underpriced relative to what it should be. Almaden is family friendly, slightly higher entry point, but very worth it. And Glen Loma Ranch in Gilroy is the newest construction in Santa Clara County. You get the most square footage for the dollar. Okay, so now the dream, single family homes. The section where I'm going to lose some of you, because I'm about to say something most agents won't. If your budget is under $1.3 million and you need to live close to work in Silicon Valley, a single family home is probably not your first home. And that's okay. Because here's where single family is actually accessible for first-time buyers. Gilroy. You can get in at $900,000 to $1.3 million, and you get a real yard, real square footage, and a real neighborhood. Morgan Hill, maybe slightly above that. You're looking at $1 million to $1.5 million, but a slightly shorter commute. East San Jose, entry-level single family is possible, but you have to do your homework on the specific block. This is literally why I work the South County market. Buyers who want a yard, real space, and a neighborhood feel, they end up here. Heck, I moved from Almaden to Gilroy myself. I'm not selling something I wouldn't buy. The commute, yeah, that's real. But so is what you get for your money. If you want a single family home and you have 1.5 million plus, stay close in. If you want a single family on 1 million, look south. If you want a single family on 800,000, buy the townhome now and the single family in 5 years. All right, so here's the cheat sheet. Single or couple, no kids, working in tech, condo, downtown San Jose, or Willow Glen. Young family watching the budget, townhome, Blossom Valley, West San Jose. Family that wants space right now, single family home in Gilroy or Morgan Hill. If you're a growing family and top schools matter most, townhome in Almaden, then plan to move up to a single family in about 5 years. That's the framework. There's a no one-size-fits-all answer here, but there's a right answer for you specifically. If you want me to help you find it, I do free consultations and the link's in the description. I also put together a free buyer PDF. This breaks down everything you need to buy in Silicon Valley. If this video helped you at all, hit subscribe. I do one of these for South Bay every single week. See you guys in the next video.